Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Now, when you go and you look at the signs of the time that Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, was talking about, you go to Matthew 24, and the disciples or the apostles, they asked him, they say, in Matthew 24:3, it say, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? Now, when you jump down to verse 7, he says something that a lot of people look over. Verse 7, it say, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Salahi, let me jump up to verse 6. The point is in verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because the end is going to end with the wars. See, just because you heard a rumor of the war, that don't mean the end going to come. The end going to come when the war pops off. See, the rumor is a whole nother situation. Because let's get that in. Let me go to Jeremiah. Let me get that in Jeremiah. Because that's a major situation in Jeremiah. Let's see, Jeremiah 50. Let's get 49 to get the context of who is he talking about. Jeremiah 49. And I'm going to start at verse 7. Let's say, concerning Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, or thus said Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, of armies, is wisdom no more in Teman. So Edom is the name of the descendants of the Edomites, and Teman was another duke or son of Esau. And so the reason people don't know who we talking about, because in verse 10 it say, but I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. So Esau is trying to hide. And to identify them, you're going to know, because who is the Lord going to have war with? Who have the military and the war equipment to war with? Yahweh Shah. And to war with anybody. See, people don't understand. When you go to war, you got to have military equipment. You got to have a military base, somewhere to keep the equipment. So it's a clear operation now. It's not hard. America has 800 military bases compared to the 30 of all the other countries combined. So you talking about a nation with 800 military bases. That's just off the radar right there. It clearly lets you know who is this talking about. But let's jump down to verse 14, because this is what Yahweh Shah was referring to. He said, I have heard a rumor. What did Matthew 24:6 say? Rumors. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen. Okay, so why is the ambassador sent to the heathen? Because the heathen, let's get that in Luke. The heathen has something special going on with themselves. I don't want to give it away. I'm going to want the scripture to say it. Let's get Luke chapter 24. 1. What is this rumor being heard and sent to the heathen? I'm going to get right to the point. Luke 21 and 24, it say, and they shall, talking about the Israelites, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. So the Israelites going into slavery into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles or the heathens until the time of the heathens be fulfilled, or the time of the heathens is up. So this what the rumor is talking about. Let's get 14 again. Jeremiah 49:14. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. You see, it's saying that these other nations is going to come against her. And this is this great city, the kingdom of Esau, pretty much. Because see, when you look at, let's get Revelation, because Revelation breaks it down and give you an understanding. Yes, it's Edom, but you got to understand how it's being organized. Okay, Revelations 13 and 4, it say, and they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? So the dragon is Edom. And see, Edom, the Edomites gave their power, or they have their power in their military, the beast. So that's why I asked the question, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? Who is able to war with America and these Edomite nation that has planes, tanks, missiles, warships, nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads? Who is able to war with these nations? Now, the rumor is, and that's being sent to these heathen, is in Joel. See, it's two rumors being going on. The rumor is telling the Edomites that Yahushua is coming to reclaim his kingdom, or to take over the kingdom. But that's not the whole rumor that's going to the heathen. And that the heathen time is finna be up. But before the heathen time is up, Joel makes it clear what is going to happen. Not only Joel, Revelation, but I'm going to get Joel first. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Let's get Joel. Alright, here we go. Joel chapter 3, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. There cause thy mighty ones, or the mighty kingdom, to come down, O Lord. So these other nations, these heathen, they are told to gather themselves together. Now Joel chapter 3 verse 9, it say, proclaim ye among the Gentiles. So the Israelites is the ambassador. They're going to proclaim this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And they're preparing to war with Babylon the Great, America. Now let's get that in Revelation 17. Revelation 16, chapter 17, Salakia, verse 16, it say, the 10 horns which thou saw upon the beast. So that's why I was saying these horns was on the beast. These horns is the military conglomerate of the Edomites, but it's one head Edomite nation. That's why in 18 it say this head Edomite nation reigned over the other over the kings of the earth, but their counterparts, mainly Russia, is gonna turn against them. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So Russia and America's allies, who are Edomites, they're gonna turn on America. And see, that's when the war is gonna pop off. That's the rumor that he's telling the heathen here in Jeremiah. Now let's get Revelation, because Revelation talks about the same thing. Revelation 16, it says in verse 14, for they are spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them together to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Jump down to verse 16, and he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So this is the Armageddon. This is the war and the rumors that is being sent to the heathen. And this the rumors of wars that Yahushua was telling his disciples it was gonna happen. And let me get that one again. Matthew 24:14 and 6. It says, verse 6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Because it was not only one war. See, that's another situation. The heathen had 3 wars that they was going to have to experience. Now when you go into 6, Revelation chapter 6, I think, it talks about these Edomites, or Edom, and it brings out what's going to happen to Edom. Because it says a rumor gonna go to Edom. But in Revelation 6:4 it says, and there went out another horse that was red. That's Edom. And that what Edom means, red. And power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. So that's what they were doing, killing one another. And so you got 3 wars, but let's get them. I think they're in chapter 9 of Revelation. 3 wars. Yep, 3 wars. Verse 9, chapter 9, Salaki, in Revelation, chapter 9, verse 12, it say, one woe is past. That's the war. And behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So it was the World War I in 1914, and then 2 more wars was coming. 1938 through 45. 1938 through 45 was World War II. So this last war, I think it's in 11. Let me get 11. Revelations 11 and 14. It says the second war is past. That's 1945. And behold, the third war come quickly. So this third war is World War III. You see, I got it on the sign. This third war is World War III. And World War III is going to be a different kind of a war. It's not going to be like the war that they had in 1914 or in 1945. And it explains that in Isaiah. Let's get Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 9. Chapter 9. Chapter 9, verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." You see, this war is gonna be with nuclear weapons, and the nuclear weapons is not gonna be the only thing that's bringing fire. But that's how America, man, is gonna be destroyed. But let me get Isaiah, the end of Isaiah, to let you know how this war is gonna end even after America is destroyed by fire. After America allies, let's get Isaiah 66:15. "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire." 16. "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." So that's how you're going to have chariots spitting fire at their enemies. Chariots is going to bring fire. The nuclear missiles is going to bring fire. That's why he say, I think in the Apocrypha, the fire is going to be already kindled when he get here. This war is going to be already going on. But let's get Revelation 19 and let you see how it's going to go down. See, when these kings, it says the king is going to burn the whole with fire, but in Revelation 17 and 14 said, "These shall make war with the Lamb." So these same people that's going to destroy America with nuclear fire, after that they're going to make war with the Lamb. That means they're going to make war with Yahushua. And it talks about that in 19. Let's see, I'm going to start in 19:11. It say, it's in Revelation 19:11, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse." See, that's that chariot. Say the Lord would come in his chariots like a whirlwind. Now I say, "And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness do he judge and make war." Okay, so he's coming in his chariot. Verse 14, it says, "And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses." That's those chariots. The Lord would come with fire and his chariots like a whirlwind. And so then it gives you the grand finale in verse 19. It says, "And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him," talking about Yahushua, "that sat on the horse, and against his army." So that's how that third war is going to go down. They're going to destroy America with nuclear fire, and then they're going to turn around and try to fight Yahushua. Now in 20, it tells you how this fire is coming, because a lot of people get the lake of fire mixed up with some other kind of situation. But it shows you that these going to be nuclear weapons. Revelation 20, verse 9, I'm going to get straight to the point. It say, "And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them." You see, so Babylon, the great city, will be devoured with fire. Then the rest of the Edomites, of Edom, talking about Jeremiah 49 was talking about Edom. Now Jeremiah 50 is talking about Edom. Jeremiah 51 is talking about Edom. Let's go back to Jeremiah, because it says something about this rumor, or these heathens hearing what's going to happen. Jeremiah, let's see, 51 and 42. Jeremiah 51:42. It say, "They shall hold the bow and the lance; they are cruel, and will not show mercy." See, that's talking about them nuclear weapons. "Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array like a man to the battle against you, O daughter of Babylon." So it's telling America, you will be destroyed, and they're going to be bows, like bows and arrows coming at you. But it's going to be greater than that. They're going to be like they're riding upon horses, and they're going to be all together like they're in a battle. You know, when they have the war going on, the horses going all together, racing to the battle. That's how the nuclear missiles going to be coming to America. So it identifies who they're talking about when they say, "Oh, daughter of Babylon," not the old Babylon, but Babylon the Great, America. Now 43 is the point. It say, "And the king of Babylon have heard the report of them." So 42 is talking about these nuclear weapons. And so he says, "King of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble." See, these elites that's running Babylon, elite Edomites, their hands are waxing feeble. See, they're in great fear. Now let's get that in Job 15. In Job 15, let's see here. Job 15 and 21. Job 15 and 21, it say, "A dreadful sound is in his ear." You see, that's that rumors of war. That's the rumors that these elite heathens is hearing. It says, "In prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him." So while these Edomites is prospering, and they're in their prosperity, they prospering in their I can't even say the word. prosperity, terrible. They hearing that, man, these Israelites is finna get raised up to destroy us. Now that's gonna send me back to Jeremiah, because he's telling them not only is their allies gonna turn on them, and Yahushua is coming to destroy them, the chariot is gonna be put on top. With Jeremiah 51 and 20, it says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break in pieces the nations," or the heathens, "and with you will I destroy kingdoms." So the kingdoms of these heathens will be destroyed. And that's going to take me to Isaiah 14, because it spells out the whole situation. And people get this confused with some kind of wicked spirit, but it ain't got nothing to do with that. Now when you go into Isaiah 14 and 18, it lets you know who is it talking about. It say, "All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house." So it's dedicated to all the kings of the nation. And not only the kings of the nation, it's dedicated to Babylon the Great, the empire of Esau, the main city-state that's pretty much running everything else. Verse 16, it tells you, this is Isaiah 14, verse 16, it say, they that see you shall narrowly look upon you and consider you, saying, is this the man that did shake kingdoms? So that's what Revelation 18 was about. Revelation 18 would say the people that let's get it real quick. It says in Revelation 18 and 18, it say, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So the people that saw America, they saw that it was burning, and they cried and said, well, in verse 10 it tells you, in Revelation 18 and 10, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, like, oh man, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, see, 800 military bases, undefeated, mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So that's why Isaiah 14 and 16, it say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? In verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoner. Because when you look at the prison population of America, they outdoing the whole world just right here in America. I think it's like 25% of the prison population worldwide. America has 25% just in this small country. So that's going to be the grand finale, that the Israelites is going to help Yahushua destroy these heathens, and especially the Edomites. Now let's get that. Let's get that in verse. In Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 14. It's saying, "I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, says the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah." So that's another thing. These Edomites is gonna get destroyed by their own allies. Then Yahweh Shah gonna join in with the chariots and his army, and the Israelites is gonna join in with when they get spiritual powers. And let's get that. That's what you got all these superhero movies that's talking about, because they know the blessing that's going to these Israelites. Their blessing is not going to be to get a city and start making weapons with warships and tanks and planes and guns. That's not their blessing. Their blessing is going to be a spiritual blessing where they can take down these other kingdoms. That's why they say you're going to be my weapons of war. But when you go into Zechariah chapter 12 verse 8, it say, "In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the Israelites. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them." So these Israelites, they're going to get spiritual power on the level of an angel. And that's why Yahushua told them that they would rule with him. They would be rulers with him, and they would sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. He told them that they would be heirs with him in his kingdom, because they all coming from the same bloodline, chosen bloodline, who's getting the inheritance from Jacob. Now let's go to that inheritance, and I'll round it up on that inheritance, or end it on the inheritance of Jacob. Genesis 27 and 29, it say let's start from the beginning. Now Jacob, Esau sold him the birthright, plus he supplanted Esau, because that's what Jacob means, a supplanter, or Salakia. And so once he's got the birthright and supplanted him, when he went in and disguised himself as Esau, this is what Jacob said to him when he was giving him the blessing. It says, let me start at 28. Therefore God give you of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. 29. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you, and be Lord over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone that curse you, and blessed be he that bless you. Now that's in the kingdom. That's going to be in the kingdom. And the reason why the Israelites is going to rule, because that's their blessing. And that's why Esau hated, and these Edomites have a strong hatred for us. It has nothing to do with skin color. They have a strong hatred for us because we have the everlasting blessing. In Genesis 27:41, it say, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father is at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So deep in their bloodline, they spiritually have a spiritual hatred towards their brother Jacob for supplanting them and getting the main blessing, or getting the blessing that would have been given to their forefather if he would have not gave it up and appreciated it, and if Jacob wouldn't have supplanted him. So they have a strong hatred for us because of that. It had nothing to do with the skin color. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.